one of the reasons we felt like we really needed a data board, as we went through our DEA assessment and we also looked at our FCAT data, the information started to get overwhelming at first, and so we needed a way to kind of streamline that data and make it very visual. And to be honest with you, when we went to one of the first RTI academies and we saw the elementary schools and what they were doing, it was kind of like a light bulb went on with us that, hey, we needed this as well. When we started looking at the information that we really wanted to try to present, it was kind of an interesting thing. Our staff specialist, Mr. Smith, and I, we were sitting down and talking about it. We were really talking about all this information that we had. And we had already gone through 3 rounds of the Discovery Ed Education Assessment, and we were like, what can we do? And Mr. Smith and I started talking about, well, you know, it'd be great if we had a way to visually represent that, and we started talking about colors, and we had a cart that was interesting, and Mr. Smith said, well, you know, I could put one side of the cart and we could put the data boards on that, and then he said, you know what, why don't I put all sides, all 4 sides, and then the next thing you know, we were like, okay, well, what about a tower? And so it kind of, as we kept talking and working, it kind of took a life of its own, but and then we got our RTI specialists involved, our literacy coach got involved, we had some of our Aspire teachers got involved, we even had our ESC clerk got involved, and they said, well, if I take these colors, I can use paper, I can use cloth, and it wound up becoming a tower. So it was an interesting proposition or interesting process because it kept growing and taking a life of its own to the product that you see here before us today. I'd like to say that as we finally got to a point of what we really wanted to focus on, we said, well, let's just focus on the math and the reading. And so therefore the 2 data boards. And for each grade level, each one of the sides. So 6th grade has a side, 7th grade has a side, and 8th grade has a side. What was interesting, as we began to put the information on the data board, we as administrators and the people that was working on the data board began to have some aha moments like, whoa, this kid went from a red to a blue, or this kid went from a blue to a red. And it really made us look a little deeper. And then when we unveiled it to the faculty, it was really interesting to see the teachers begin to walk around and identify their students that they had been working with and see where they were on the data board. And that in turn had some interesting conversations about, hey, what were you doing here? I saw this student went here, and that's really what was exciting, to see the teachers begin to collaborate and talk amongst themselves about what they saw with their individual students. You know, once we've done this data board, I think that the interesting thing has been that it started the questions, and teachers begin to question, administrators begin to question. We have this data here now, and we know we're doing some great things instructional. I think what the data board is going to help us to do is to begin to look more closely at our subgroups, look more closely at our individual students, and then instead of looking at our instructional practices maybe from a whole group perspective, begin to look at that differentiation, look at those subgroups, look at other specific items that we know some of our students have. For instance, on our data board, we've even tagged some of our students that may have been in ISS for a while, or been out of school, or attendance issues, or even some of our students that have exceptionalities. And we saw some very interesting information about that as well. So we feel like next year it's going to help us to target our instructional practices better, and then help us to collaborate and really make an impact for each individual student.